In 2020, archaeologists cracked open a 2,000-year-old restaurant in Pompeii. Inside the food containers, duck, pork, goat, fish, snails, still identifiable, from the last meal served before Vesuvius buried everything in ash. But here's what stopped them cold. Ancient Rome didn't just have restaurants, they even had Yelp reviews. Scratched into the wall was a customer review, and it's so brutal I can hardly say it here. But I will give you the full translation later in this video. Today, we think fast food is a modern invention. Drive-thrus, golden arches, apps that deliver tacos at 2 a.m. But 2,000 years ago, Romans were grabbing hot meals on their lunch breaks from counters that look almost exactly like a Chipotle. 80 fast food joints in Pompeii alone, a city of only 20,000 people. That's one restaurant for every 250 residents. More per capita than most American cities today. Why? Here's the thing nobody tells you about ancient Rome. Most people couldn't cook at home. Not because they didn't want to, because they literally couldn't. 90% of Rome's population lived in apartment buildings called insulae, wooden towers stacked 5, 6, sometimes 9 stories high. No running water above the ground floor, no kitchens. And here's the critical part. No fire allowed. Why? Because these buildings collapsed and burned constantly. The poet Juvenal wrote about watching an entire 7-story building fall during dinner. Emperor Augustus had to pass a law limiting building heights to 70 feet after too many people died. So if you lived on the 4th floor of a Roman apartment and you wanted a hot meal, you had 2 choices: risk burning down the building, or walk downstairs and buy one. The thermopolium, literally the place where hot things are sold, wasn't a luxury. It was survival. Picture this. You're walking down Via dell'Abbondanza, Pompeii's main street, in the year 79 AD. Every few doors, there's a counter built right into the sidewalk. L-shaped stone, with large terracotta jars sunk into the surface. Inside those jars, hot stews, cooked meat, beans, lentils, all kept warm over charcoal fires underneath. Behind the counter, shelves of wine, a kettle for hot water, amphorae stacked to the ceiling, and painted on the front of the counter, frescoes of the food, ducks, chickens, a sea nymph riding a seahorse. Sometimes just a picture of what was cooking that day. This was their menu, their branding, their way of saying we serve duck. Some thermopolia had just one counter. Grab and go. Others had back rooms with tables, a second floor with guest rooms now. And I'll let you guess what happened up there, given that archaeologists found women's names scratched into the walls. One thermopolium had a shrine to Mercury, god of commerce, and Bacchus, god of wine, built right into the wall. These weren't just restaurants, they were community centers, meeting spots. The place where deals were made and gossip spread. So what could you actually order? This is where it gets interesting. Forget everything you think about ancient food being primitive. The thermopolium menu included course bread with a salty fish, baked cheese, lentil stew, roasted duck, pork, goat, land snails, and covering almost everything, garum. Garum was Rome's ketchup, their sriracha, a fermented fish sauce made by leaving fish guts in salt under the Mediterranean sun for months. It sounds disgusting, but it's basically the same as the fish sauce in your Thai food today. Rich in umami, packed with protein. But here's the one that'll really get you. They had burgers. A dish called acetia aumentata, minced meat mixed with wine-soaked bread, pine nuts, pepper, and garum, shaped into a patty. Sound familiar? The cookbook Apicius from the 4th century includes the recipe. Food historians have made it. It tastes, by all accounts, like a gourmet meatball sandwich. Romans invented the hamburger 1,500 years before McDonald's, and they were selling it from street counters. Now, here's where it gets complicated. These places had a reputation, a bad one. The playwright Plautus wrote about Thermopolia being full of effeminate Greeks and thieving slaves. Criminals, heavy drinkers, people you didn't want to be associated with. If you were a senator or a wealthy Roman and someone spotted you at a thermopolium, your political rivals would use it against you. Eating at fast food was a class marker, a sign that you were poor. Or worse, why that you had low standards. The rich ate at home. Elaborate dinner parties, multiple courses, slaves preparing everything. For them, going out to eat was beneath their dignity. And the emperors noticed the problems too. Claudius once ordered all the thermopolia shut down, banned the sale of hot food and boiled meat entirely. His reasoning? Too many criminals gathering there. Too much wine. Too much trouble. But here's the thing, the ban didn't last. It couldn't. Because millions of Romans literally couldn't eat without them. The thermopolia reopened. Business continued. The empire needed its fast food. Later emperors tried different tactics. Nero banned everything except vegetables. Vespasian restricted them to selling only beans. None of it worked. The demand was too high. Rome ran on a fast food, whether the emperors liked it or not. Which brings us back to that restaurant in Pompeii. In 2020, archaeologists fully excavated a thermopolium for the first time ever. Containers still holding food, frescoes perfectly preserved. They found bones of ducks, pigs, goats, fish, and snails. Firming the paintings on the counter showed exactly what was being sold. They found an amphora that still smelled of wine 2,000 years later. They found a tiny dog skeleton, evidence that Romans were selectively breeding toy dogs even back then. And scratched into the frame around a painting of a dog on a leash, the words Nicia kinede cacator, which translates roughly to Nicias, you shameless shitter. 2,000 years later, and we're still leaving one-star reviews. Some things never change. Pompeii had 80 thermopolia. Rome probably had thousands. Most people bought their lunch at a counter, ate standing up, maybe sat down if the place was fancy. They complained about the service. They judged each other for where they ate. Emperors tried and failed to regulate them. The next time you're in line at a drive-thru, remember, you're doing exactly what Romans did 2,000 years ago.